I think fidelity and our perception of fidelity will change as generations mature. I think at this moment, when we go look at an old movie that has older special effects, certain movies just don't hold up anymore. And that is because we have been trained, our expectations of fidelity have gotten just that much higher because we've been inundated with so much high fidelity stuff. Uh, that said, you asked me about immersion earlier. I do think that, at least for the time being, immersion will be a replacement for fidelity. If you are in a more immersed world, if you are in a more immersed piece of hardware, you can forgive certain things. Shading and lighting may not be as important if you have head tracking, because now all of a sudden you have more depth cues from the head tracking that you were getting maybe from some of the shadowing cues, and you can still have a fun time doing something. That said, as we get inundated with even more immersive stuff, as well as high fidelity stuff, I think eventually we just won't have any patience for non-high fidelity stuff. But at the same time, there's also, of course, there's always going to be this throwback / retro movement, right? They talk about this curve of like when something is cool again. And it's like, it's in fashion, it's out of fashion, and then it gets like really out of fashion. But then at some point near the like 15 to 20 year mark, it becomes cool again, right? We see this recycling of many franchises right now in pop culture because of this very fact. And many things in the 80s become popular again because now all of a sudden the kids that thought those things were really cool in the 80s are now adults with disposable income, and they can spend on those things that very much remind them of some kind of a nostalgic memory. So in terms of fidelity, yes, I absolutely think it is important and it will become more important. However, I also think that there will be always room in which you can kind of sacrifice fidelity for something else, whether it be immersion or some kind of nostalgia thing.